Hello and welcome back to another vlog. Hope everyone had a nice Halloween and did lots of cool spooky things or watched some cool films. I watched The Thing last night. John Carpenter's The Thing, 1982, absolute classic. I'm sure I wasn't the only one out there in film fan land doing that. So where are we with the project? In terms of the project, it's all actually edited, if you can believe it or not. Everything that we shot is edited, everything possible. I'll go into that in a second. So what we've edited is 67 or 69 minutes, I think. 69 minutes and 33 seconds worth of footage. And that's actually all color corrected and synced up with the proper sound, which is a real chore to do, but it's obviously worth doing now rather than later, I feel. So unfortunately, some footage is actually stuck on a hard drive. It wouldn't be an independent film if some footage wasn't stuck on a hard drive, which we can't access. But fortunately, the drive is turning on and everything. I think there's just an issue with the port that's wiggling a bit. So I'm hoping to get that fixed before Christmas. I'd get it done sooner, but I really am broke at the moment. Um, so there are two or three scenes on this hard drive. This is all from day 15, and so those three scenes are: one is Harry hiding underneath the car scene, the other is Stanley and Maria meeting in the woods. Very brief, small scene, but it's a good one. It's one I like. And the scene where Stanley meets Brian and Sarah in their car. So that's all stuck on their hard drive, but it is fortunately turning on, and it's just the port, I think, needs some kind of adjusting or some kind of fixing. So yeah, like I say, hoping to get that done. I mean, there is a crack here. So I thought it might be fun to kind of deep dive into one episode or one scene that we shot and kind of use that as an example of how the film was made and what I learned doing it. Every scene, every shot is a result of the kind of things that we were influenced by that day and what was happening that day. And just taking that one scene out and looking at it just might be fun, just to show you a bit of footage, and also, show you the journey that we went on to get that footage and those final takes. So the scene I've chosen features Harry, played by Michael Parle, and Stanley, played by Sean Donegan, on the hunt for the aliens in the woods. In this scene, they're going through the woods, they stop at a fern, and they have a little bit of dialogue before they continue on the trail to find the aliens. I kind of wanted just a nice small contained dialogue scene with just where each of them have, three or four lines. And there's a sense that they're on the hunt for something. There's a bit of a sense of mystery that they're hunting, but they don't know what's going to happen when they find them. And there's the fear of what they're looking for, and also the kind of sense that they're in over their head. So I thought it might be interesting as well to show, obviously the wide shot, which is the first shot that we shot, but not just show it, but also show the difference between take one and the final take five. We did 5 takes of that wide shot, which may sound like a lot, but really it's important to do that many to give the actors time to get into the scene, get re-familiar with the lines, get a sense of the tone and the energy required for the scene. In terms of, for me, it's important, figure out, the lighting. So yeah, so have a look at those 2 takes, and then we'll come back. We're rolling.
Roll sound.
Rolling.
Scene 63, shot one, take one.
You're in shot now, Sean. Just come back a little bit.
No, I didn't.
Freddy is hidden yet, striking the aperture. 1, 2, 3, action!
Now do you believe me?
I never doubted it. I just didn't realise we'd be dealing with bloody zombies.
Worse. Aliens. A zombie, you know what you're dealing with. Here, this is all new. I wonder if this is your friend's gloop.
Friends?
You know what I mean. Those two aliens masquerading as John and Mary.
Brian and Sarah.
Whatever. It looks like this trail goes deeper into the woods.
Where do you think they're going? Sorry, I fucking forgot. I was waiting for another line.
It's okay,
Sorry,
we'll,
so I'm
we'll
gonna
go
do
from
that
there.
again.
Picking up. Maybe this. It looks like this trail goes deeper into the woods.
Where do you think they're going?
Who knows? They won't go back to the house now. That's been compromised. Maybe back to nature. They'll lick their wounds. Or to one of the neighboring pods to plot their next move.
This is dark stuff.
You ready to do this? Let's go.
Okay, I'll cut it there. Thank you. One, two, three, action.
Now, do you believe me?
I never doubted you. I just didn't realise we'd be dealing with bloody zombies.
Worse. Aliens. A zombie, you know what you're dealing with here. This is all new. I wonder if this is your friend's gloop.
Friends?
You know what I mean. Those two aliens masquerading as John and Mary.
Brian and Sarah.
Whatever. It looks like this trail goes deeper into the woods.
Where do you think they're going?
Who knows? They can't go back to the house now. That's been compromised. Maybe they're picking up. Maybe they're going back to nature to lick their wounds. Or to one of the neighboring pods to plot their next move.
This is dark stuff.
You ready for this? Let's go.
Okay, let's cut it there. So yeah, I think it's interesting just to see the difference between those two things. You see the actors getting more to grips with the lines. You see that I increased the light. The way this is being lit is there's an aperture off on the left of frame, off frame on the left, shining in, and you can see between take 1 and take 5, I put that up by about a third. That wasn't due to the light changing. That was just me applying the lot on the camera and feeling that we really wanted to get these guys popping out from the background. This is kind of a fun, zany film, and you don't want your characters blending into the background. You want them, especially in this kind of film, popping out from the background. So the aperture is off on the left. I'm not sure what it went up by, but it certainly looks from take 1 to take 5 that it went up by about a third at least. And also on the right then, Freddie, our gaffer, our brilliant gaffer who did a great job, is on the right with the rod light shining in, just to give Michael Parle some edge light on the side of his face. And again, just that separation that I spoke about, you know, before, I spoke about on these vlogs before I went down. So there you go, you can see how it was used and how handy it is. And yeah, that's the rod light. I know I showed this before, but you know, it's fun. It's a fun gimmick. And I would guess that was on like 100% probably. I don't know. It was certainly up high. I just think the wide shot is a great way to start the scene. It just gives you time to figure out what the scene needs. And when you're shooting 4 weeks on the trot, it's important to take a bit of time at start shooting and just look at what the scene requires. And we didn't always do this, by the way, you know, unfortunately, but we did in this instance. And I'm pretty proud of this scene. That's why I'm showing it. So yeah, apart from the wide shot, we got a mid shot, a close up on the fern where they go and touch the goo. We got a few close ups of the fern, different types as he takes the fern and then he releases it again. They're kind of two different moments. And as he wipes his hand off it, kind of complex that is. We got the side profile from either side. A close-up of the drink being passed back and forth, which I actually thought came out really well. and two slightly different shots from the back, just to show the forest ahead of them, and how, you know, the idea was to show how scary and big and intimidating it was, even though I don't think we entirely succeeded in that. So yeah, I'm really pleased with all the coverage we got in that shot. It might seem very basic or very conventional, but you know, it's a small moment between characters. It's not an action moment. It's kind of a quiet dialogue moment, and really, I think what you know, in terms of the cinematic moments there, what you more want to use in those moments is the sound effects and the music in that scene. Maybe I could have done the dialogue a little bit more handheld to give a sense of danger, but I'm fine with the way I shot it. I think it was nice to have just a nice tight scene shot on a tripod. And unless you have any big dramatic moments happening, you know, it's hard to have any action shots unless you do it very unconventionally. But then you risk, you know, over egging it, you know, over egging what is a relatively simple scene. So the only action moment is the whiskey uh, bottle going back and forth. And I actually really like that shot. I think that's just a nice simple shot that we did well. You know, it's important to do those small moments well. Then I've got all those shots, dragged them into the timeline. I've dragged on just the final take. We did 5 takes of the wide shot just for us to get into the scene, and then really for everything else, the profile shots, the reverse shots, it was maybe 2 takes. You know, we had nailed it by then. We knew the pace of the scene by then. And yeah, so then the sound, we got all the sound. Sean Hallahan did a great job on sound as both a recordist and the boom operator, and I definitely recommend him if anyone is looking for sound. The sound has all been present there and correct, and that's been really a relief, you know, that it's all been there. So the color correction process has been a process I enjoy more than the sound, which is just very much, you know, bringing it in and syncing it up, and it's kind of a it's not a very exciting job, put it that way. But the color correction thing is a bit more. It's a little bit more. You have a little bit more room to play around with that, and it's very interesting for me, who's learning about lighting, to be able to do that and learn a lot from it. Just to, like I say, we shot separation lighting during all of our daytime stuff, so you want to separate your background from your foreground. And so when you bring it in, then do your color correcting, you can see how successful you are. So you want to bring down the blacks, bring down your shadows, bring up the whites, bring up maybe the vibrancy and the saturation a little bit. And yeah, that's all really fun. I really enjoy all that. So yeah, here is the finished scene. Have a look at it, and you can let me know in the comments if you want to, what you thought of the scene. I'm really proud of it. I thought everyone did a great job. We had a great crew, small crew on this scene that day. Joseph RAD did a great job. Sean Hallahan, as I mentioned, on sound, and Freddie on lights, and Michael and Sean Donegan acting. They all did a really terrific job. I think we really nailed that scene, if I'm honest, and I'm quite proud of it.
Now do you believe me?
I never doubted you. I just didn't realise we'd be dealing with bloody zombies.
Worse, aliens. A zombie, you know what you're dealing with here. This is all new. I wonder if this is your friend's gloop.
Friends?
You know what I mean. Those 2 aliens masquerading as John and Mary.
Brian and Sarah.
Whatever. It looks like this trail is going deeper into the woods.
Where do you think they're going?
Who knows? But they won't go back to the house now. That's been compromised. Maybe they're going back to nature to lick their wounds. Or to one of the neighboring pods to plot their next move.
This stuff is getting dark.
You ready to do this? Let's go.
So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. I'm not going to be showing too much footage either. I don't want people to be worrying, but I do want to show in these vlogs, and the purpose of these vlogs is to show the journey that we went on. So I'm going to try and strike a balance as best I can between those two things, maintaining the mystery and excitement of the film while also showing the journey that we went on. And I'll have to figure out that as I go along. But I always think if I was a kid, you know, gee, I'd love to see some of the first takes and see the difference between the two things, you know, and those small little things we did differently, which I think make a big difference. Like Michael holding on to the shovel, or you know, putting away the shovel and then holding it. The difference in that, and you see his tension, you see his fear, you know, and that sets a tone for the scene. Those small things. So I think that's interesting. But like I say, I'm going to try and strike that balance as best I can, because you know I can't just show me editing because that's going to be really boring. Do you know what I mean? Um. So yeah, so we'll do another vlog soon. You know, I'm going to try and do a bit more often. This was supposed to be a short vlog, 2 or 3 minutes, but I'm sure it's already quite long. But anyway, we'll do another vlog soon again, and thanks for watching. The journey continues.